Well, I think the first thing to say is that we've seen a big shift from Singapore when the expectation was full denuclearization before the end of Donald Trump's first term. That's what was said before that summit took place. Now we're seeing lots of signals from the US that they'll be open to a roadmap which suggests a step-by-step process, as you alluded to, which could see America get some quite big concessions from the North, things like the shutdown of the Yongbyon facilities. But it all rests on whether the US can provide concessions to the North Koreans that will be sufficient and make them satisfied with the state of exchange.
These nuclear negotiations, especially with the ones with North Korea, that tend to take years with the nuclear experts involved and all. But we went straight to the top level this time around last year. So are we running the risk of, really ending up with something that's out of depth?
Yes, I think the first risk with this top-down approach is the fact that Donald Trump's only got about a year and a half left on his clock in terms of the next US election, and that's been one of the biggest problems in previous negotiations between North Korea and the United States, which is when Democrats have exchanged power with Republicans. We've often seen previous deals start to rapidly fall apart. And the North Koreans, I think, for actually accurate, correct reasons, they've hedged in the past, knowing that these things can fall apart, and kept programs running in the background. And that's just one of the problems. Kim Jong-un has the great advantage of being a dictator. He has the same team, more or less, the whole time. And the US are the ones that change every few years, and that presents problems.
Well, every few years or every few months, especially with this administration in Washington. So how do we measure the success? For example, let's say at the end of this week, we see North Korea agreeing to dismantle Yongbyon nuclear facility. That seems to be a high possibility at this point. Is that North Korea saying, I want to just dump or dismantle what I don't need anymore? Is that really meaningful in terms of denuclearization of North Korea?
No, North Korea's, the status quo will remain unchanged, even if Yongbyon shuts down. Some US intelligence estimates state that North Korea has approximately 60 or so weaponized nuclear warheads. So let's imagine they're hidden away in a mountain somewhere. If that's the truth, then North Korea can actually do quite a lot, which cosmetically looks like denuclearization, but is actually far from it. But I think you've got to remember that the North Koreans, they need something out of this too, and part of that has been about trust building with the US, and we've seen really none of that last year, and so that's kind of brought us to where we are now.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen, and don't forget to subscribe.